Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is February 4th, 2025, and Ibrahim Diarra has been left without a Barca Atletic slot. Also, Barcelona are now worried about Vitor Roque's future as Real Betis have made a new signing. And finally, Penaldo making some interesting statements, including that he almost signed for FC Barcelona. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and we'll begin this video with the news that Ibrahim Diarra has been left without a Barca Atletic slot. Now, Barcelona officially signed Ibrahim Diarra this winter transfer market when the player was officially 18 years old and could sign a contract. Of course, the club had already made an agreement with the player past summer when he came to the club for tryouts. Actually, it was last winter. He came to the club, did tryouts, completely impressed everyone. And as such, Barcelona reached an agreement with Ibrahim Diarra so he can come to the club. But of course, at the time, he was 17 years old, so Barcelona could not officially sign him. So they did once he turned 18 this past December. And Ibrahim Diarra arrived at the club, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, where he's already debuted with a Juvenil A. And of course, Ibrahim Diarra was supposed to reinforce Barca Atletic, but now it's been revealed that the player has been left without a Barca Atletic spot. Now, Barcelona have instead signed Alan Godoy, who Real Madrid were very close to signing, but Barcelona swooped in the last minute and brought him to the club to reinforce the Barca Atletic. And even though there is one slot left on Barca Atletic, the club have decided not to register Ibrahim Diarra in that slot, and instead Ibrahim Diarra will spend the rest of the season playing with the Juvenil A, which it might seem concerning at the moment, but I don't think it is. After all, Ibrahim Diarra literally just arrived at the club. Not to mention, he just came from a very long injury. So not only does he have to adapt to the Barcelona style of play, which as we've seen is a very difficult thing to do, but he also has to recover from his injury, get back to form. So I'm not too worried that he's going to spend the rest of the season of Juvenil A. I'm pretty sure by next season we're going to be seeing more of Ibrahim Diarra, whether with Barca Atletic or maybe even the first team, because after all, he is one of the most promising young talents to come out of the African continent. All right, on to the next news, because ladies and gentlemen, it's been revealed that Ansu Fati rejected 2 offers during the final moments of the winter transfer market. Now, it seems that Ansu Fati received a late offer during the winter transfer market from Sevilla on loan, but as you know, Barcelona's relationship has broken down with Sevilla with the whole Negreira case, with Sevilla, joining the complaint against Barcelona, issuing statements criticizing Barcelona, even refusing to eat with Joan Laporta before the matches. So the relationship has completely deteriorated. So Barcelona made it very clear to Sevilla, if they wanted to take Ansu Fati, they needed to cover his full salary. There wasn't going to be any negotiations. There wasn't going to be any favors. If you want him, pay his entire salary, which of course, there's no way that Sevilla was going to cover that. So they ended up pulling out of the race. But the second offer was from the Saudi club Al Shabab, who actually offered to sign Ansu Fati on a permanent transfer, offering Barcelona 10 million euros fixed plus 5 million euros in variables, and offering Ansu Fati a pretty big salary. But despite that, Ansu Fati said no. So definitely bad news for the club, because it seems like they're going to be stuck with Ansu Fati for quite some time, even though Hansi Flick does not count on. But also bad news for the player, because he already knows that Flick does not count on him in Barcelona, but yet he refuses to leave to search for minutes somewhere else, which is a shame, because at his age, he needs to be playing. Plus, not to mention, you can't be wasting away your years as a footballer, because as we know, a footballer's career is very short. All right, from Ansu Fati, we move on to Vitor Roque, because Barcelona are now very concerned in regards to the Brazilians' future. Now, as you know, Barcelona signed or sent Vitor Roque on loan to Real Betis, hoping that he would, end up living up to his expectations, and Real Betis would end up keeping him at the end of the loan. But Vitor Roque has actually lost his starting position to Cedric Bakambu. But now, to make things even worse, Real Betis have signed another center forward named Cucho Hernandez, a 25-year-old Colombian center forward that Real Betis have signed from the MLS until 2030, which means that Real Betis do not count on Vitor Roque, because otherwise, why would you spend 13 million euros on a player? And let's not forget, this is Real Betis. 13 million euros to them is a lot of money. After all, the club's net value or net worth is only 185 million compared to Barcelona, which is north of 1 billion. So that's like more than 5 times. So this is like Barcelona spending 75 million on a player. And if Barcelona are going to spend 75 million on a player, it's not going to be to be on the bench. It's going to be so he can start. So the same thing here. Real Betis did not just spend 13 million on Cucho Hernandez just so he can sit on the bench. This is a clear signal that Vitor Roque has lost his starting spot and that Real Betis don't count on the Brazilian. And this, of course, is worrying Barcelona because it's looking like Vitor Roque will end up coming back to the club from loan, with the club being stuck with the player. Now, many reports in Brazil are assuring that Vitor Roque will most likely end up going back to Brazil in the summer transfer market, which would deem this, of course, a failed signing by Barcelona. And as I've mentioned many, many times before, I think we are owed a big explanation on why did Barcelona sign Vitor Roque for 30 million plus 35 in variables. That's a 65 million euro signing with the promise that he was going to be Lewandowski's replacement. And the club even went and paid extra to bring him early. All that just so Xavi Hernandez in 5 minutes could figure out that Vitor Roque was not good enough. It took Hansi Flick even less than that, 30 seconds to figure out he wasn't good enough. And now he's even failing at a mid-table team. So what we need to know is who authorized the signing, who are the scouts who are making positive reports, because we need to figure out, because these scouts need to be fired or reprimanded or something, because how did it take Xavi Hernandez and Hansi Flick such a little time to figure out he wasn't good enough and for Real Betis to realize he wasn't good enough? And the scouts missed that when that's their job, to figure out who's promising and who's not. Anyways, we will end today's video with the ridiculous statements made by Penaldo. But first, we got to discuss his interesting statements, because Penaldo has revealed that he was close to signing to FC Barcelona when he said the following in an interview with Edu Sanchez. And Penaldo said, "I could have signed for Barca when I was playing for Sporting Lisbon. I was with someone from the club and they wanted to sign me, but it didn't happen. They wanted to sign me that year and join them the following year, but Manchester wanted me for that year." So Penaldo revealing that Barcelona almost signed him. They wanted to sign him, but they wanted to sign him, that year, and then he would come the following year. But Man U wanted him that same year, so ended up signing with Man U, which of course, begs the question, how would have Penaldo's career looked? Would have been different? Would have been the same? I'll let you guys speculate, so let me know down below in the comment section. And of course, I did promise you ridiculous statements, so let's move on to Penaldo's ridiculous statements, because this is what he said about him being the best. Now, Penaldo said people could like Messi or Maradona, and I respect it, but I'm the most complete. I am the best player in history. I haven't seen anyone better than me. I'm good with the headers. I'm good free kick taker. I'm quick. I'm strong. I jump a lot. Now, Penaldo also talked about how he can score with his right leg and left leg and head. So I think what he means, he's a complete goal scorer, not a complete player, because all he's mentioning is the parts of his body that he can score with. And for that, sure, yeah, he's a complete goal scorer. He's one of the best goal scorers in history. But let's not get it twisted, Penaldo. You are not the most complete player. Far, far from it. Yes, you're an amazing goal scorer, but that's it. Messi is also a goal scorer because he has very similar numbers to you. He's an assist provider. He's a dribbler. He's a playmaker. He can score from free kicks. He can score from anywhere on the field. So let's not get it twisted. Messi's a complete player. You're just a complete goal scorer. And I think at this point, it's becoming very, very, very sad. Initially, when Penaldo used to make these statements, you're like, okay, it's just his winning mentality. Winners always perceive themselves as the best. They always want to be the best. But at this point, it's just pathetic. It's just pathetic. I mean, these are the words of a jealous man. These are the words of someone with a complex, with someone who just cannot admit to others and to himself that he is not the best. Because let's be honest, Lionel Messi is way better than him. Messi is a more complete player. Messi has a lot more tools at his disposal. And even though Penaldo, physically speaking, has a lot more advantages than Messi, thanks to Messi's intelligent footballing intelligence, Penaldo has not been able to beat Messi despite being taller, bigger, stronger, and having more force in his legs. So I think that hurts him. He knows deep down that he's not the best. So this is just the words of an obsessed man who knows he's not the best, but he has to try to convince others and himself that he is the best, but deep down he doesn't know. And again, at this point, it's just sad. I mean, Penaldo, dude, you've accomplished so much. You've won almost everything there is to win, except the World Cup. I mean, you've established a bunch of records, and in the process, you've made hundreds of millions. Dude, enjoy your success. Enjoy the legacy that you've built, a legacy that's going to outlive all of us. But instead, he is so obsessed with Messi that he just cannot even enjoy his own success. And that, to me, is just absolutely sad. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I did upload another video before this one, so make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, peace, Barça.